Okay, we're back. We're live. This is Think Tech Talks on a given Wednesday at 4 to 5 p.m. And we're doing the Energy Wednesday show. We call it Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy. And it's organized primarily by the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. Today's show, we start out with a discussion of new energy at the airport. New things at the airport. We are always interested in energy wherever it pops up. We want to get clean as soon as possible. Okay, we want to beat all the goals. You know what I mean? We want to be faster, bigger, better, world famous immediately.
And we are, actually.
And we are, okay. And these guys are doing it. Say again? Oh, yeah, thank you. Diet Coke can't be on the table. It's product placement, you know. And our guests are Jeff Chang from the Airports Division of the Department of Transportation and Carilyn Shon from the State Energy Office. And they have different roles in energy at the airport. Welcome to the show, Jeff.
Thank you.
Carilyn, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for inviting us.
Sure. So, the airport. When we say airport, are we saying all the airports in the state, or are we talking about Honolulu International Airport?
No, we're talking about all the airports in the state.
Something is happening.
Yes.
I remember hearing that there was $1 billion somewhere in the process going to fix all the airports. We're not talking about that today.
No, we're not, but if you want, I can just mention that real quick. We have a $2.7 billion program. We're
Sorry.
Modernize
$1
the
billion
airport.
here and there, you know.
Yeah, it's we're trying to modernize it and become a world-class destination, something that Hawaii can be proud of. So that's our mission. This is just a part of our mission, this project we're talking about.
Okay. So your part of it is the affirmative equipment to make the energy clean at the airport?
Well, what
Or
we're talking
airports?
about here is an energy savings performance contract, and in my
Okay.
role as program manager at the airports, it encompasses not only improvements at the airports, but also things like energy efficiency. It's all engineering related. Anything engineering related comes under me. So what we did was, this initiative started a while back, several years ago, with a trip with Carilyn and I to the National Governors Association conference in Washington, D.C. And what we did there was we set goals for a lot of public agencies. Airports was one of them, in order to meet the governor's current policy of 70% reduction in or use of renewables and energy efficiency by 2030. So out of this conference, we decided to do an energy efficiency project at the airports. And so we've been working on it for several years. We did a procurement, and we reached a milestone recently where we funded the project. And what the project is, it's a 20-year contract with a vendor, Johnson Controls, and it's $150 million worth of improvements where we do things like we change out light fixtures, we change HVAC equipment, and basically when we do that, we're going to save almost 50% of the electricity we burn at the airports. And that's important because airports is the third largest consumer of electricity in the state. So the way we pay for this is that the actual savings produced by the improvements actually pays for the loan we took out to do the improvements.
Cool.
So it's basically no upfront
It's a
funding
wash.
from the state. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not only a wash, it's actually cash positive. So we actually have a residual savings every year that we can use to do energy-related improvements as well.
And that's the project we're here today to talk about,
Yeah.
primarily.
Yes.
Yeah. It strikes me very interesting that this all arose at a conference. You know, you go to so many conferences and they talk all day, and everybody at the end says, "What did they say? What is it going to? Anything going to happen? Here's something happened."
Actually, we chose airports and Jeff, and at that time, the University of Hawaii Community Colleges Associate Vice President, as well as the Department of County and General Services Head of Public Works, to go to this policy conference in DC hosted by the National Governors Association. So Jeff was there at the initial meeting and conference, and the goal was for Hawaii's goal at that time, it was for large impact solutions. And since then, Jeff has succeeded with $150 million. And the community colleges have done a $25 million investment for the Oahu community colleges and the neighboring community colleges. And Department of Accounting and General Services has done 2 phases. One, a $33 million performance contract, and I think they just concluded the second phase for about $18 million. But Jeff, by far, is the winner at $150 million.
Sure. That's a lot of money. So, and how long ago was this conference? What's the timeline we're talking
I think it
about?
was 2010 we started.
And all this has germinated since.
Yes.
And your office is directly involved in it because it's energy efficiency.
Yes. I'm with the Department of Business Economic Development, State Energy Office. We're part of the department, and we apply to the National Governors Association for this policy academy to develop programs for the state. And at that time, we saw that Jeff and DAGs and the community colleges, Mike Unibasami, were very interested and committed to efficiency and improvements. So DBED invited them to participate. And it's all come to great fruition. And my compliments to all of these managers for great success.
Yeah, whatever it was, maybe drinking the water or something there. It
Well,
worked.
that's here in Hawaii.
Yeah,
Hawaii born,
must
Hawaii
be.
bred. We've
So,
got wonderful talent.
It's been 4 years, though, since the idea first germinated. What are the steps in the 4 years that got you from there to here? I mean, we're talking about movement by the state, which is
Right.
always interesting and good. So how did you get from point A to point B?
Okay, so first of all, back in '86, the legislature had the foresight to enact a statute. It's called HRS 3641, which enables these energy savings contract and enables us to do procurements that you can upfront the investment and then pay with the savings. And so as a result of that statute, DAGs went ahead and they made a streamlined process for other agencies like the airports and UH, where they did a procurement. They did a short list that we could choose from. So they did a stage 1 procurement basically under this statute. So we used their streamlined process, and we chose a vendor that was about 3 years ago. And then once we choose the vendor, that just starts the process, because what the vendor has to do is they have to come in and actually engineer a solution. So they do a proposal where they do a preliminary estimate of what they can do in terms of savings, and we base the selection off that. But then they come in and they do a detailed engineering evaluation of all the airports statewide. So they come in, they measure all our energy use. They put data loggers on equipment, which measures the actual use, and they look at the latest innovation or equipment that's out there that can provide the energy savings. And then they put together a detailed proposal for us, which we evaluate, and we see what we want to take and what we don't want to take. So what we did was, they actually proposed about $250 million worth of improvements, and we chose what we thought were the best ones, the most cost-effective ones to do. And then we arrived at this point, maybe about 6 months ago, where we said, okay, this is the project we want to do, now let's go out and get the money to do it. So in this case, for airports, since we're enterprise, we can go ahead and sell revenue bonds. So we went to market, we brought this, first we had to do ratings, go to the rating agencies, and they see what they feel the project is in terms of an actual rating, like a Moody's, Standard & Poor's, Fitch ratings. And we get rated all the time by these agencies for regular projects. But this one, we were able to get a rating that was very high, just a notch below what we normally get, which is good for an individual project. And then about a month ago, we actually went to market to sell the bonds.
You have to get legislative approval of bonds like that?
Yes,
or?
we do.
Oh, so that was last year?
We got that about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay.
So we got the approvals from the legislator, we got the ratings, so then we're all set to go to market. We went to market last month, and we were only selling 150 million, actually 167 million when you do the financing costs. And we actually got orders of $1.1 billion for the project. So we're about 7 times oversold, which shows the confidence investors had in the project and what a sound project it was. So
what was it that made them bid that way? That's extraordinary. They
It's a
like
great
you.
program. It's a great project.
It's a combination of things. It was a good project, and it was the right time to go to market. That kind of thing you can't plan, but we're basically at the right time, actually the right week, and actually the right day, because at that time there was about 12 billion on the market, municipal bonds, and we were right at the start, so kind of on the upswing. Everyone was sort of focused on the market and looking at it, and ours turned out to be a really good project. People looked at it and read the prospectus, and they really liked it.
So how does it work now in terms of the money? I mean, seems like a critical element in the way the contract would work. Is you get the bonds for 150 million, and you pay the money to the contract, the successful contract. Who is that, by the way?
It's Johnson Controls.
Johnson, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Johnson Controls puts all these controls in, other equipment that you've selected
Right.
and negotiated, whatever.
Right.
And then you effectively pay it, you pay the $150 million back, is that what it is? Out of the savings. How does that work?
Yeah, that's pretty much in a nutshell. That's how it works. It's a little more complicated than that because of the statute. There's actually a trustee that Johnson Controls will take 2 years to do the construction, and the trustee pays out to Johnson Controls for those costs, and then we pay the trustee back with the savings. You have to have a trustee as an intermediary because the statute says we can't, which is a good statute, by the way. It says you can't pay out more than you get savings. So it's a safeguard for state agencies. They can't be paying out more than their savings. So we use that trustee so that the savings that we get is more than the actual debt service payment always, every single year. That's a requirement of the law.
So you have to calculate the savings against what it would have been or was in the past. So if you were spending $1 in the past and now you're spending half a dollar now, then 50 cents goes into the trust. Is that what happens?
Well, that's a really good question because the contract actually with Johnson Controls provides a guarantee. So they guarantee a certain amount of savings every year.
So you can't lose.
Yeah, exactly. That's another can't lose thing about this whole situation. So they will guarantee a certain amount of, now we don't guarantee money, we guarantee kilowatt hours.
Yeah.
Or gallons of water saved. So they'll, at a baseline year, they measure what we use, and then they look at their improvements. They put into a model that's an engineering model that's used by the Department of Energy. It's kind of a standardized model. And they'll predict the savings that we're going to get, and then they'll guarantee it. So they'll guarantee kilowatt hours per year every year for the next 20 years. And so how we get a dollar amount is we take a baseline rate from HECO or other utilities, and we apply that to the current year, and then we escalate that by 5% a year because those costs.
You got to make some.
We got to make some. Right,
Yeah.
It's kind of estimate, and historically it has escalated at 6.7. So we're a little conservative there.
So big question. Suppose the amount of savings exceeds the guarantee. What happens then?
Then we just pocket the money.
Hey, nice.
Yeah. And if for some reason the savings don't materialize, Johnson has to cut us a check. So we're always safe in terms of making the debt service payment. So it's kind of a really good.
Carilyn, you like this?
Oh, we've been promoting it since the mid-90s. That's how long we've been
I
around.
guess she likes it. So what kind of equipment are we talking about? I mean, technology. What are you putting in?
Another selling point of the project is not really fancy technology. It's pretty basic, so that's what investors like. It's basically changing light fixtures from what we have now. It's like fluorescent T8s to LEDs. So we're actually going to replace 75,000 light fixtures throughout the state. It's quite a bit.
All the airports.
All the airports. We're replacing some HVAC equipment or air conditioning equipment, chillers, big chiller plants. We're also doing photovoltaic, so we got 9,100 PV panels going up. And other associated air conditioning equipment, small systems, split systems like that. Just putting in more efficient equipment. Also, the other thing that's pretty straightforward is transformer replacements, more efficient electrical transformers. So pretty basic stuff and spread throughout the airports.
And it's not only Johnson. Johnson just happens to be the contractor. These items of equipment could be from other vendors as well.
Well, the whole thing is Johnson's basically is the developer. So one of our requirements was to use all local distribution in terms of the equipment, all local labor, all union labor. So we keep the money back in the economy. That was a really important point for us. We don't want it to be outsourced.
No, that's a good point.
And sent to the mainland or whatever. We wanted the money to stay here, generate tax revenue. So it's actually going to result in 400 local jobs, new jobs, and 670 million cumulative economic impact on the whole state. When tax revenues are respent.
How long will it take to do this work?
So 2 years to install it, and then the performance period, they call it, is another 18 years. So it's a 20-year contract.
And I'd like to point out that Jeff is describing some of the hardware and some of the back of the house stuff that goes on. But through the project, the airports gains in a number of ways. with the HVAC, heating, ventilation, air conditioning replacements with new technology, better technology, more efficient technology. Indoor air quality improves, as well as reducing their utility bill. With the 75,000 lighting improvements that are done, you'll have a whole new lighting design. So the airports will be modernized and made more attractive for returning residents as well as tourists, because that's what they'll see.
That's Carilyn Shon. We have Carilyn Shon and Jeff Chang. Carilyn's from DBED, the State Energy Office, and Jeff is from the Airports Division, State Department of Transportation. We're talking about new energy at the airport here in Think Tech Talks in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. We'll be right back after this short break.
Aloha, I'm Nicole Horry for Think Tech. For nearly half a century, the Hawaii Foreign Trade Zone No. 9 has brought the benefits of the Foreign Trade Zone program to Hawaii businesses and entrepreneurs. DBET, the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism, operates Hawaii's Foreign Trade Zone program to encourage international business and economic development. The Foreign Trade Zone's mission is to increase the amount of international trading activity in Hawaii, thereby providing employment opportunities for the residents of our island state. For more information, see ftz9.org. I'm Nicole Horry. Mahalo.
We're back. We're live. We're at Think Tech Talks here on a given Wednesday at 4 to 5 p.m. in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. Talking about new energy at the airport with Jeff Chang, Airports Division, State Department of Transportation, and Carilyn Shon, State Energy Office. They've been working together on this project at the airport. We'll hear later from Howard Wiig about tropical codes, but that's another story. So back to you, Jeff. You know, you mentioned, and I mean, I think this clear enough that we're going to spend the $2.7 billion, hopefully soon, to, you know, do general renovations on Honolulu International, on the other airports in the state. That's going to mean a lot of changes. How do you coordinate those changes with the changes here in this $150 million, energy efficiency contract?
That's a really good question. So when we did this, we planned this so that it would coordinate with the new improvements. And basically, those new improvements, there's several new buildings that are separate from the existing buildings. So what we told the vendor was, we want you to basically work on all the existing buildings that probably won't be touched for the next 20 years. And then the benefit, though, of this is when they do that, they develop standards for lighting, new efficiency standards. So any new improvements, we then say, you know, whatever you're building next, you have to at least meet these standards. So all the new buildings will have these new types of fixtures, air conditioning, PV, or whatever it is.
Is that part of the same contract, or is that,
no, it's
that would be
different.
the contract for the new building?
Right, so these new buildings will have these new types of standards, but basically how we structured it is the new buildings are pretty much standalone and separate, so they won't affect the current contract. Where there is a conflict or kind of integration needed, we can always do changes to that Johnson Controls contract to say, you know, we're going to let you go on this part of it, this much we'll take out of your contract, we'll not require that much savings because we're going to tear down this part of the building. So there are mechanisms to take care of that kind of thing.
You have to be flexible in this kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, ideally, airports change all the time.
They do, yeah.
And get upgraded all the time. In fact, they are the portal for our tourism industry, and you know, they need to look fresh. They need to look like they look in Asia, actually.
Yeah, so Caroline brought up a really good point. Those LED lights will actually brighten up the whole airport.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, and it'll actually look, the appearance will be a lot better. And the new buildings we're planning, we're going to build a new terminal. I don't know if you knew that, but it'll be on the Mauka side of the current inner island terminal, and it'll have 6 wide-body gates or 11 narrow-body gates. That's one of the new standalone buildings. We're going to also have a new consolidated car rental facility, like you see in San Francisco, standalone building where all the car rentals are
That's a good
congregated
idea.
in there, and yeah, bring everything there. And then another one in Maui, same kind of consolidated car rental facility. So those take up kind of a big chunk of that 2.7 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, boy, I'm looking forward to that. How are you going to get to the new terminal? Wiggy buses, or is there some other thing planned?
Well, it connects to the existing inner island terminal. So
It'd be touching the terminal.
yeah, exactly. It'll be an extension. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the same system, getting to the planes and all that.
Right.
Can't hardly wait. When is this going to happen, Jeff?
We're starting construction actually this year with some of the supporting projects that'll get the infrastructure ready. So by 2017, you'll be walking into a new building.
Would you come back to Think Tech and talk about it with
Sure,
us and give
no
us
problem.
progress reports and what have you?
Sure, anytime.
Thank you. Okay, Carilyn, now what does this all mean in the larger picture? You know, the State Energy Office is concerned with every facet of the state, and private and public and all that. So what are we learning from Jeff's contract, from the contract you guys made at the airport, that can be used in other places, other facilities, everywhere and anywhere? So it sounds like there's a lot of lessons here.
Well, Jeff was a really excellent pupil, but even more an excellent partner. It was great working with Jeff and Deputy Director Ford Fujikami to get the performance contract done at the airports statewide. And it is the largest single state agency project in the nation, because I have checked with a couple of national organizations, and the Energy Services Coalition notes that the largest was really 90 million by one state agency in one contract. So at 150, we are really, Jeff is, and airports and Ford are the stars of the entire national interest. He's probably going to get a lot of calls. I'm sure he doesn't need the distractions, but they have really done an excellent job. And it all contributes. The reason why we're interested in participating is I'm sure everyone has heard of the clean energy goal of 70% clean energy by 2030. 40% is supposed to come from renewables, 30% from efficiency. And Jeff's project is a beautiful combination of renewables and efficiency. You know, if you don't have to use that kilowatt hour, it's the best savings, an incredible resource.
That's the best of all.
Right. On the consumer side, HECO doesn't have to generate power. You save it. You use it for when you really use it, need it for something, and you use it efficiently, smartly, correctly. So of course we're always interested in working with state agencies. So performance contracting contributes to that 70% clean energy goal by 2030, and we're ahead of schedule and ahead of our targets, but that doesn't mean we let down our
Don't let you,
right.
no,
No,
keep
we don't
going.
take our eyes off the prize, because
You're not sleeping these days, right?
No,
Everybody
no.
in the energy office stays up all night. I know how that works.
We're incredibly dedicated and very
they are.
high in work ethic. And so we expect to exceed our targets, and correctly so, because we cannot continue to rely on imported oil.
Now, what about the renewables in this deal? I mean, I heard about the efficiency, but what renewables are you putting in?
Basically just PV.
PV on the roof of the
On
airport?
the roof of the Honolulu International Airport.
Oh, that's great.
Existing
Can you
roofs.
say how many megawatts?
Yeah, it's 9,100 panels, so it's 2.8 megawatts.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's substantial. And how much of the airport is that going to drive? Maybe the whole thing? Could it be?
No, it's
no, too small.
No. Yeah, we're saving 54 million kilowatts, if you can translate that
Yeah.
into the PV.
Oh, that's a major thing. I mean, if all those residences out there can get PV, so can you.
Yeah, so yeah,
Actually-
54,000 million kilowatts is like, see, 6,500 homes. That's how much energy we're saving.
Wow.
But actually, Jeff is really on top of everything, because through a previous power purchase agreement, he's got, what, several other
Yeah,
megawatts?
we had about, we did, before this, we were installing PV. First phase had about 1 megawatt, second phase has about 4 megawatts, so.
This is big compared to that. So is that part of the Johnson contract?
Yes, the
okay.
current PV, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the earlier is not part of
Right.
the Johnson.
Right, got it,
Yeah.
got it. And have they selected a subcontractor who's going to install all this?
Well, what we did was, like I said, Johnson was the developer, so they are required to then bid out the PV. So I think it's about 3 or 4 different local companies that'll be doing the installation.
This is great.
Yeah.
Next time I go to the airport, I'm going to have I'm going to be looking. I'm not going for a couple of months, so not to worry. Okay, you guys, this is great news. Thank you for coming down on Think Tech talking about it. It's really wonderful to hear about these projects going forward. It's great to hear about. It's always great to hear about efficiency.
Oh, thank
Because
you.
there's no infrastructure for efficiency. You have to
After
spend
my
anything
own
for-
heart, thank you. That's exactly how I feel.
Okay, that's Carilyn Shon from the State Energy Office at DBED and Jeff Chang, Airports Division. We've been talking about new energy at the airport and here on Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy and Think Tech Wednesday. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, Howard Wiig will be here. He's also from the State Energy Office with Maria Rodriguez from Campbell High School. Exciting. We're going to talk about some more things involving tropical codes. And if you don't know what that is, hang around and you'll find out. Aloha, I'm Jay Fidell. This is Think Tech Hawaii, broadcasting live from the Pioneer Plaza in downtown Honolulu. We raise public awareness about tech, energy, and globalism in Hawaii. Technology is critical to our state. A vibrant tech sector will give us new prospects in the global marketplace and will offer great careers and make our economy more resilient. Streaming live on Ustream and Spreaker, Think Tech allows its hosts and guests invaluable opportunities to report important events and discuss important questions, and to be heard here in Hawaii and around the world. You can find links to our live streams on thinktechhawaii.com or on our mobile website, m.thinktechhawaii.com. And you can see our archive on YouTube. It's all just a click away. We want to do whatever we can to keep Hawaii relevant, connected, and thriving in the complexity of the 21st century. We hope you will help us in those efforts. Tune in today. This is Think Tech. I'm Jay Fidell. Mahalo.
I'm Hong Jiang, host for Asia in Review on Tuesdays.
And I'm David Day, host for Asian Review on Thursdays. Both of us broadcast our respective shows at 4 p.m.
And my topics tend to deal with questions related to environment, culture, history, and sometimes human rights.
And my shows tend to be on international business, foreign policy, geopolitics, and national security. And you can watch our shows live on the Think Tech website at thinktechhawaii.com.
And you can also watch us on YouTube or Olalo.
So come join us on Thursdays at 4 p.m. I'm David Day.
And on Tuesdays at 4 p.m., I'm Hong Jiang.
Aloha.
Aloha, I'm Jay Fidell. This is Think Tech Hawaii, broadcasting live from the Pioneer Plaza in downtown Honolulu. We raise public awareness about tech, energy, and globalism in Hawaii. Technology is critical to our state. A vibrant tech sector will give us new prospects in the global marketplace and will offer great careers and make our economy more resilient. Streaming live on Ustream and Spreaker, Think Tech allows its hosts and guests invaluable opportunities to report important events and discuss important questions, and to be heard here in Hawaii and around the world. You can find links to our live streams on thinktechhawaii.com or on our mobile website, m.thinktechhawaii.com. And you can see our archive on YouTube. It's all just a click away. We want to do whatever we can to keep Hawaii relevant, connected, and thriving in the complexity of the 21st century. We hope you will help us in those efforts. Tune in today. This is Think Tech. I'm Jay Fidell. Okay, we're back. We're live. We're here at Think Tech Talks in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. Today we were talking about new energy at the airport with Jeff Chang and Carilyn Shon. That was interesting. But now we got a whole new show, half show as it were, with Howard Wiig, who is also from the State Energy Office at DBED, and his friend Maria Rodriguez from Campbell High School. Ooh, hi Maria.
Hi, sir.
Thank you for coming down. Howard, it's always nice to see your smiling face.
Great to be here. It's more fun than a barrel of monkeys.
Okay, Howard, why don't you introduce Maria and tell us what she is doing and what she's going to tell us about.
Okay. Number one, Maria came from the Philippines less than 3 years ago, speaking very, very little English. Number two, she's the oldest of 5 children. Mom and dad are off working. Guess who's to take care of the littler children? Number three, at Campbell, she plays tennis. She does endless varieties of volunteer activities. She gets very good grades. With them lives her grandfather, who has frequent heart problems, and somebody has to dash him off to the hospital. She gets to go with him and serve as translator and stay in the hospital as long as necessary, get granddad back. And in the midst of all this, she has done a senior project on zero net energy classrooms, got almost perfect grades on that, and now she's working in a science fair project on light bottles.
Oh, really? For the
Yep.
state science
And-
fair coming up this spring?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Oh, terrific. We follow that closely.
And the
Okay.
light bottle will bring in, you go into a corrugated tin roof in the third world, have light coming in here, water here. The water is in the interior, it disperses light so you get free light in otherwise
Wait.
dark
Don't put it
ghettos.
away. It's too curious. So you have a bottle of a product here that I could buy on a grocery shelf.
Yep.
This is actually a bottle for pomegranate juice.
Or you can use any bottle. as
Any
you want.
bottle, but this one, the one we're showing you here, is for pomegranate juice. So, you know, you saw it here on Think Tech, pomegranate juice. Okay, so I get this bottle. I've already consumed the juice. Now I put some liquid in the bottom,
Yes.
and I put some water in the bottom, about that much.
Or you can fill it up.
Or
if
I
you
can fill
want.
it up. Okay, and then I put some light in the top. How do I put the light in the top?
You let the sun come down on it.
The sun comes on it.
Yep.
Okay.
Because this is
Sunlight.
the top half is exterior, the bottom half is interior in your corrugated tin
Oh,
roof.
so the tin roof is like that.
Precisely.
Okay, and then this sort of, this is really high tech actually.
Yeah.
And then the light is diffused at the bottom.
Because of the water. It
You can
doesn't
pay
go down.
thousands for this kind of technology, but
Yeah,
actually all you need is a bottle from pomegranate juice.
Yeah. And then
instead-
some sealant around the hole.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
this
it.
lights the inside of the
Yeah.
whatever the room, the
Yeah.
the
And
building.
this is made for third world
Countries.
urban conditions.
And it actually looks a bit like a bulb, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah.
And the water does the diffusion. That's where
Yep.
that's how it happens.
The water will let the light go into the interior of the house and diffuse it evenly in the house, and you put bleach or Clorox on it to make the water clear and microwave free. And it can last for 5 years.
What happens at the end of 5 years?
You just need to change the water and add.
That's all you have to do. It
Yes.
should be so easy.
It is easy and convenient to do.
Suppose I want to turn off the light. Okay, we'll let that question go. Okay, so that's the water bottle thing. Now we're going to do the net energy, what is it, zero net energy classroom thing, and that is your project. Now this is also your project for the science fair?
Oh no, that's my senior project.
Senior project at
Yes.
Campbell High
Yes,
School,
sir.
okay? Maria Rodriguez, we're going to hear from you. Let's start now.
You want to start with the classroom? Or do you want to do the bottle?
Ball.
Yeah, why don't we let her do the bottle light first?
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so basically what Mr. Howard just explained is almost everything, I guess. I have nothing to left to say, but then because my my science fair project, we're trying to solve a problem because like he has say that some houses in the third world countries are left in a dark metal roof, which blocks all the light that the sun produces. And there's some part of these countries doesn't have the access or connection to electricity grid.
So if you didn't have the bottle, there would be no light in the building, in the house.
Yes, totally.
Or you'd have to find electricity, and if there is no electricity, well, it's dark.
It's dark.
So this is your way of doing that. And it's better than just cutting a hole in the roof, because if you do that, the water comes in, and so you don't have a roof anymore.
Yeah, and the light just goes down in one splash, whereas the water diffuses the light evenly throughout the
Okay.
space.
Who invented this?
Mr. Alfred Mozart, he's a Brazil engineer. He created this in 2002 just to keep the light flow inside of his workshop.
Okay, and you're reporting on this now for the school?
That's for my science fair project.
This is the science fair.
Yes.
Oh, I have to come and see what you do. And you're making a big panel board and everything, showing exactly how it works. Wait, Howard, let's. Howard is giving a message to Maria, and the message is batteries for
Nights.
night. What does that mean?
Since this bottle bulb was only used in the morning, but there's a recently improvement on this bottle bulb. You can also use it at night now.
With the batteries.
Yes, batteries and a PV panel.
Oh, so, okay. Oh, the PV
Panel.
fills the batteries,
Yes,
and the batteries light the home at night,
at night.
all without any electricity from the outside.
Yep. But via a circuit. And Maria, for her this year's coming science project, if she can get enough help, is going to build her own circuit board to transfer the PV energy through the circuit board into the battery.
That's first class.
Yeah.
This is important. You're into science, huh?
Yeah, it's like I just want to make things better, and we want to use natural resources and things like that.
Okay. Are you going to go try to, deploy these ideas back in the Philippines?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't, you can try in Hawaii Kai, but I don't think we... Okay, so that's the science fair. We're looking forward to seeing that. And we'll run around the science fair with some cameras. Maybe we'll find you there
I hope
with
so.
your project and put you on OC16. Okay, now we're going to go to your presentation here about the Zero Net Energy Classroom. What is that, Maria?
So basically a zero net energy is to make buildings or facilities completely self-efficient as an energy producer. Or in other words, we want to reduce the energy used and make up the remaining energy by using a PV panel. So what I think is because the government gives budget to the school, and mostly of the budgets they use it to pay the bills for electricity, and I think it's kind of useless because it was supposed to help the student, teacher, or other people to have a better environment to study and learn more. So we want to reduce the energy use by doing something on it.
So what do you propose to do?
Because there's three sources of energy used in a classroom. One is lighting, AC, and other one is other devices. For example, like the printers, computers, and smartboards, and other more. So we want to reduce the energy use by those three sources of energy.
Gee, this sounds like the first half of our show. It's all about energy efficiency, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so, well, you have a presentation about it. You go at your own speed. Tell the people what you want to tell them.
So first we want to reduce the energy used for lighting, and to attain this goal, we want to substitute the electricity light to windows or skylights, because those two main things is like letting the light go inside of the classrooms without using any electricity. So, okay.
You're gonna actually do this?
I'm hoping that I can convince the school to do it as well.
Okay. Does it cost money?
Some parts,
Yeah,
but
okay.
then it will help you in a long term.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
You have to show them the savings.
Savings,
It's
yes.
just like the airport. If you show them the savings, then you can get their attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So are you working on this alone, or is there a group of kids also working on it?
For this senior project, I'm doing it alone. But in my science fair project, I have a partner named Miss Shannon Fernandez, but she wasn't able to come today.
Okay. She's also at Campbell.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So how did you run across Howard?
Last year from State Science Fair as well.
Oh, okay.
What happened? I'm a judge at the science fair, and when I see really enthusiastic kids who are really into their projects, I give them my card and say, if you want to ratchet this up to the next level, give me a call or email me. And I've given out probably over the years dozens of cards. I've had 2 responses, one fizzled, one didn't fizzle, one took off like a rocket, and that is Maria.
Well, why don't you describe briefly, Howard, what the science fair is, and how it works, and what kids do when they, compete in the science fair.
It's kind of a round-robin activity where all schools throughout the state are invited to participate. First, you have a school competition the best of those go to the district competition, and the best of those end up at the state science fair, usually held at Blaisdell.
Convention Center.
Oh, Convention Center now. And there are something in the order of 450 different entries. And many judges, including yourself, go around and hopefully give awards to all of the best projects.
And the ones who win get involved in the regional competition,
Yeah.
and then the national competition. And I am sure to a moral certainty that's where Maria's going to go.
I'm planning. I want to go to international competition
Okay.
this time.
We're going to take a short break, come back, and see what this all means. What it means to the kids, what it means to the schools, what it means to the State Energy Office. Okay. That's Howard Wiig, and he's from the State Energy Office, and Maria Rodriguez from Campbell High School. And this is Think Tech Talks in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. We're talking about new energy at the airport and maybe new energy in the classroom too. We'll be right back.
Aloha, I'm Nicole Horry for Think Tech. For nearly half a century, the Hawaii Foreign Trade Zone No. 9 has brought the benefits of the Foreign Trade Zone program to Hawaii businesses and entrepreneurs. DBET, the Department of Business, Economic Development and Tourism, operates Hawaii's Foreign Trade Zone program to encourage international business and economic development. The Foreign Trade Zone's mission is to increase the amount of international trading activity in Hawaii, thereby providing employment opportunities for the residents of our island state. For more information, see ftz9.org. I'm Nicole Horry. It's mahalo.
Okay, we're back. We're live. I'm Jay Fidell here on Think Tech Talks in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. And we're talking about new energy in the classroom, I think. And Howard Wiig, who is actually a talent scout for the State Department of Development, what is it, Business Development and so forth.
Something like that.
DBED, the State Energy Office, has found Maria Rodriguez at Campbell and brought her down today. And we are talking about her classroom project, and we have not yet gotten to maybe one of the most interesting parts of that project, namely air conditioning. Howard, why don't you describe it first, and then Maria can give us the details.
Okay. As Maria was saying, in a typical classroom, there are three major energy users: lighting, and she proposed substituting the electric lighting for skylighting or window lighting. And then there is HVAC, and there's all this clamor. AC the schools, AC the schools. No, under Maria's proposal, we don't have to AC the schools, and we're going to be using about 5% as much energy. And finally, there's all this equipment in your modern classrooms, computers, Lord knows what all. They have something called phantom loads when they're supposedly off, and Maria will also address the subject of phantom loads.
Okay, we are really excited about this now, Maria.
Yes.
So what about the HVAC? What are you going to do?
I want to turn it off.
Okay.
Basically, because I think that a typical AC air condition use about 3,500 watts compared to a ceiling fan that's only use 60 watts. That's big amount of numbers. So yeah, because basically a ceiling fans make a gentle movement to feel the gentle movement that allows the people in the classroom to feel cooler and comfortable. And our body heat temperature about 98.6 degree, and it will by under ceiling fans it will reduce that amount of heat gain in our body.
So how are you going to drive the ceiling fans now? What are you going to use to make them run?
Yes.
You get PV for that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you put the PV on the top of the classroom, you put a wire through the roof, and it drives the fire well around somehow, and then it drives the ceiling fan. Direct. And if it's a little rain and the PV doesn't generate all that much power, it's okay. The ceiling fan won't run for that moment in time. It doesn't matter. So you just have this, am I right? This one instrument, this one PV fan, or rather one PV panel and one fan below, and it's just one unit connected by a wire and your special circuit board. Right?
I'll try.
do you make a circuit board anyway?
She knows how. Her physics professor is going to help her. Yeah.
I'm still trying to learn that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, don't let us dissuade you. Do it.
And then finally, we have all those computers and everything.
Yes. What about
Yes.
them? What about that? Phantom power. Yeah.
Yeah, phantom load. So because even though the computers are turned on and I think it's useless, even though it's turned on without people using it, it's still consuming about 10 to 20% of energy. So I think it's kind of, maybe some people will think, oh, it's okay, 10 to 20% is still small. But then if you put it in this way, so for example, like 1 year is equivalent to 35 days. And for 1 day, it's equivalent to 24 hours. If you multiply that, you will have 8,760 hours. And for a typical, in school, you stay there for a couple of 10 hours, let's say 10 hours. And for, let's say if one classroom consuming about 200 watts per day and you multiply it by 10, you will have 2,000
Yeah.
watts per day.
Yeah. So
And-
that's a lot of power, actually.
Yes. And you subtract it to the subtract this number to the and hours per year. It's equivalent to 6,760 watts per year. That's a big amount of energy.
She's
that
not
you're
fooling
seeing.
Howard. She's got this worked out. You know that. So how do we do this now? How do we get rid of the phantom? What do you call it?
Phantom load.
Phantom load.
So we want to have a master switch to control the supply of energy.
Simple, elegant. What an elegant idea that is. Just turn them off.
Yes.
No more power. Finish.
Yes, and you're zero energy. That you're consuming zero energy. They just
And it's a manual switch. No need. You gonna put a clock on it or anything like
No.
that, or just turn it off.
then you're done.
And you're done. Brilliant. Where'd you get that idea from?
From Mr. Howard.
Okay, nice work, Howard. Well, I'm very excited about that. Now you're going to take that to the science fair? No, that's your senior class project.
That's mostly,
Gee, I hope they do that stuff. It's great stuff.
but we're not done on that yet.
There's more.
Because there's still remaining energy used, we want to use a PV panel to make up this energy used, so it will be a zero net energy classroom.
Okay. So what else? What else did I miss here? What else are you going to do in this project?
I'm totally done on it. That simple ideas and things to way to do around. That's it, to have zero net energy classroom.
If you do those three things, you will be saving a lot of
Yes.
energy for sure. This is very exciting. Gee, I hope you are getting some publicity here. Maybe you should get more publicity, though. Maybe people can pick that up for their own homes. That's really valuable. All of it. All those three ideas are good.
And maybe some DOE people are watching the program as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice job, Howard. You are a talent scout. Okay, so I want to know about your college plans. We need to know that before we're finished here.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a senior now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's the plan?
Because we're still having a hard time about money, so I'm planning to go to community college for a while, just to get all the credits I need and transfer to a bigger college after. And I want to become an environmental engineering. And right now I already earned 6 college credits in my high school year.
Oh, you can do that.
Yes.
Gee, that's
But
terrific.
Just take advanced classes and open opportunities. Why not? Don't you
Okay.
think so?
She's going to be very successful
Yes.
and wealthy. And even when she is very successful and wealthy, she will still talk to you, Howard.
I hope
I
so.
only hope
Yes,
she'll talk to
yes,
me,
yes.
too.
And this summer, Maria?
I'm not still quite sure about the
Oh,
opportunity. But then I apply for other opportunity, which they give you other 6 credits. So if I can go in that class, I can earn 12 college credit for the whole year.
Don't stop. Not for a minute. You really have some good ideas there, and it means you have good, sound scientific judgment, so that's good.
Yeah. And she's looking at getting her bachelor's in 3 years because of these advanced credits.
Of course, helps
Yeah.
you right along. And then graduate school?
Yeah.
Okay, don't forget to earn a scholarship to go to graduate school.
Yeah, I did apply for 10 scholarship right now, and I'm still waiting for the response.
Okay, that's Maria Rodriguez. We have some wonderful people come on our show. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Howard.
Huge
It's great
pleasure.
to see you. Great to hear from you. Great to hear about your projects. This is Think Tech Talks in Hawaii, the state of clean energy, moving and shaking in energy from all directions. We'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock with, what do we got, Ian? Oh yeah, we'll be talking to Cliff Slater tomorrow about whether the rail protest is over or not. Okay, we'll be right back tomorrow. This is Jay Fidell, Think Tech Talks. Aloha, thank you guys.